think we're back on track, guys. Phone is cleared out. That was pretty funny watching some of these old videos that you guys probably never will get to see them, just because it's something I can't really probably put on Facebook, the language and some of those, but it was funny. Back to the Cameo. We've got the gas tank out of it. We've got it tore apart. Now we want to clean up the frame. I am removing the bump stop brackets. There's another video of that we've already made. I'll put a link in the description, or a link right here. I'm gonna try to put a link right here. And that'll show you how to remove your bump stop brackets. You'll see the smoothing that I did, and then we are POR 15ing the frame and detailing anything that we can back there. New gas tank back in, blah blah blah, change whatever we need to change. It's going to be a series of videos, I'm sure, because I don't want you guys watching 30-40 minute video. I know people don't like that, so we'll try to keep it down to 8 to 15 minutes. How about that? I'm Johnny Garage Johnson, and this is Hardcore Garage. We have the bump stop snubber brackets, whatever you want to call them, off of there. Cleaned up both sides. I didn't show you guys that because we already have a video of removing the bump brackets. Maybe I should have showed you a little more detail as far as what I do other than grinding them off. I use a grinder right at the edge of the steel and the weld right where it meets, and I grind all the way till you'll start to see a crack. Actually, it'll change colors and a crack, and then I use a steel hammer and a chisel and try to break that line. Once I've got the bracket completely off, I'll go back and I'll grind with the I don't know what you want to call these guys here, just a regular composite grinding discs or whatever you want to call those. Get it as close as you can without actually hitting the frame, which that takes some practice. You'll always do better on the second side. Then after you get that really close, then you go to a flapper wheel. If you guys don't know what those are, it is like a bunch of pieces of sandpaper. I should have one laying right here somewhere, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Where did you go, Mr. Flapper Wheel? Okay, we'll just show you on here. See how it has all those little flaps? And that won't dig into the frame nearly as quickly as a grinder disc, so you can pretty much use that and get all of the excess. You want to try to, get any kind of cracks out. That's what it looks like to me, a crack where the weld meets the metal. You'll see a raised or usually a raised edge, and you just keep going across that till it's smooth. Then I switch to 80 grit on an orbital sander, or you can just use your, a hand block or whatever. It depends on how much you want, how far you want to go. Do you want it to look like, they were never there? I mean, ideally, that's what I'm going for when I do remove them, is to make it look like they were never there. Now, whether or not you want to start smoothing the frame out, you almost have to smooth out the area right there, which is cool because that's where your wheel is. And if people are looking at your wheel, they'll be able to see that part of the frame. So for it to be smoother than the rest is not a bad thing. She's all degreased, power washed, metal prepped and etched. I was uploading the video for today, which is Friday, trying to work on stuff for next week. And it's a long video. You guys need to check that out if you haven't. But it was eating up my Wi-Fi, and I had to lay my phone right by the mesh unit. So I couldn't use my phone to record anything. I so need an extra camera. What kind of camera should I get? Let me know if you're YouTube or you do some other things where you have to film. I'd like to know. But anyway, I'll flip the camera around so you can see the frame now. Let's back her up a little bit. It's almost like it's patinaed. That etching does a killer job. I will try to get as much paint as I can everywhere, inside and out, as much as I can reach. And I'll take y'all along for the journey. Hopefully that's clean. I don't know. I don't really want to touch it. I think that's still kind of greasy. And as far as engine degreaser, or there ain't no engine in the back, degreaser, I just used engine degreaser. Wow. Power wash that off. Then I used the pump sprayer, hosed everything down. You let it sit for about 30 minutes. Today was the perfect day because it was like overcast and raining on and off, so no chance of evaporation. So it left on there for about 30 minutes and come back and power washed it again. And this part, everything that you can see for, well, other than the rear end, it's still kind of greasy, so we're not going to worry about that right now. But the frame, as far as I can see, everything looks like it's ready to go. So we're going to do that next. Woo! Need to go buy a gang of these. I think that's a 3-inch perhaps. So some of these, and maybe the smaller one's a 2-inch. I would say 10 of each. Frame is going to eat these up anywhere where it's not perfectly smooth. So have lots of these. And drop cloths. And don't get none of this stuff on you. Wear gloves. That stuff never comes off. You'll die, and it'll be like in your obituary. POR 15 on his finger. I watched a bunch of tests, and a lot of people don't like the POR 15, but it lasts longer than any other rust encapsulator or whatever you want to call the things. It's just really a matter, if you think about it, you can't get rust if you don't have oxygen. So if you can get the metal totally coated inside, outside, all of it, oxygen can't get to that metal. It is not going to rust anymore. It's the same stuff I used on the GT. It's a gray POR 15. This so since I used it on the GT, we're talking what, possibly 4 years old. Do you think it's a coincidence that the paint can opener is also a bottle opener? Oh, this still may not work. Yay. Going to Hawaii. Green ass paint stick. Let's go ahead and pour a little bit in here. I'm going to get me a paper towel. If you don't want permanent gray skin, I suggest wearing gloves. Or black or white, whatever color you choose. This stuff just goes on super smooth, like water, like I said. Two small coats is what it suggests. And it is self-leveling. I wish I had a smaller brush, honestly. been almost 2 hours, and I think I can second coat. I'm not going to try and coat the inside of the frame first. I want to get a second coat on this because it suggests doing your second coat anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. If this stuff does dry, then you need to sand it all to take the shine off before you second coat. So I am going to second coat everything that I have right now currently, and I'm not going to film that because I'm going to listen to my music, but I just want you to see the befores. And I'm going to use a regular brush this time because I don't have any more foam brushes. I won't get them till later on this afternoon. Got the exhaust pulled out of her too. That was fun. I did discover something. This is my catalytic converter. Someone was being sneaky. We got a pretty decent coat. I don't know how much was out of that quart, but I was able to get all of that one side, inside, outside, bottom, everything. All these center rails. I've got inside to that shock mount and all of this. It goes down to about where the fuel filter is. Time management and trying to make videos is super difficult, guys. Especially the way my house is set up. My house is above the shop, so I come down here, I'm doing something, whatever, and I'm like, I can throw that on there real quick, but I don't have my phone, so do I not do it? Or do I run upstairs and get my phone and come? It just kills your motivation to do stuff like that. So then I feel guilty, like, man, you know, I should have filmed that. It's informative. So bear with me, guys. I'm learning just like everybody else, and this isn't really a channel that's teaching you crazy stuff anyway, so let's be real, right? I did make a list. But here's where I am. About to put that tank in there. And I was going to film the installation of the tank, but not me getting everything ready for the tank. I just never even thought about it. But some of y'all may be anal like I am and do the same stuff. But I had removed the tank strap, where's she at right there, to get some paint on it. And pretty much everything I touch, I try to at least throw some spray paint on so it doesn't look really, really bad against, you know, this. And spray paint will at least help it last a little while longer, depending on how clean you keep your stuff. So we are going to mount that tank strap, front one there, at least for right now. I can't mount the tank until I get the strap insulators or rubber pieces, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to have it ready and sitting there, so it'll be pretty. I know you dig my shirt. Well, there you have it. Detailed frame, at least the rear half, right? I'll need to get it over the pit or on Josh's lift to get the rest of the frame, and who knows when that'll happen, right? With the way my schedule is, it may never get painted. Anyway, next video will be reinstalling the gas tank and all the stuff, accessories, brackets, hoses, and all the stuff associated with that project. So if you're looking for something like that, you have to wait till the next video, guys. Appreciate y'all following along. Hope you have a fabulous weekend. Keep on trucking.